I just finished running 10 kilometers or more for 30 days straight, and I decided to go for it again. 60 days, 10 kilometers or more every single day. The habit has changed, my feelings about running has changed, and I wanted to see how much more I could get out of it. I plan on running a 100-miler, and that's no joke. So I have to put in the time on my feet. The goal this time around is getting up to running a half marathon, 21.1 kilometers. It's been a long time since I've gone that distance. I have to endure these longer, slow runs. I'm running in zone 2, and that's okay. My Maffetone pace is fairly close to zone 2. At the end of the day, if it's Maffetone pace or it's zone 2, really I'm training by heart rate, and that's what matters to me. I'm going to see the results one way or the other, just like I did in my 30-day challenge. And so it continues. 60 days of running. Can you imagine? I did a video where I ran 30 days, and I'm continuing. I'm just going to keep on going. Yes, there will be a time where I don't run continuously because I've got a couple of goals of running a PR in a 10K and a 5K, but I want to see how long I can continue to do this and see improvements. And when I stop seeing improvements, I know that I need to rest. So let's start. Here's the 60 days of running every day. Day 49. 12 hours after I last ran, last night was dark and it was hard and it was crampy and it was just a terrible run. And then this morning, 12 hours later, I'm at it again. I did a reverse loop on my route today. Kind of changed things up a little bit. It made things a lot easier because I'm not looking at my time because I kind of know where all my splits are when I'm running. And I noticed that my heart rate starts to rise as I get closer to those splits day after day. So I was like, okay, let's change it up a little bit. And today worked, I think. I haven't looked at my numbers yet, but I feel it. I feel okay. Day 49, tomorrow is 19K. That's gonna push me. And I'm looking forward to it. I've been eating much better, guys. Just finished a day of work and I needed to go grocery shopping. So here I am, gotta get some food. And definitely the habit has changed dramatically. I am dropping weight faster than I thought, and all is good, guys. I'm just eating a heck of a lot more of this stuff. Like really, like all this stuff, all this green stuff, I'm eating a heck of a lot more of that. And that's a good thing because we all need a little bit of fiber. Yeah, baby, 19K. That was awesome. Long run, 19 kilometers with a pace of, God, I don't know. It took me 2 hours and 16 minutes. I tried to keep my heart rate low. We'll see what it looks like when I review it, but feeling pretty darn happy right now. Day 52, you really got to pay attention to your body. You have to listen to what it's telling you. I had a little bit of niggles today in my one of my ankles, and I said, you know what? I'm going to run for another 20 seconds, and I'm going to see if it disappears. Maybe it was just like a little cramp or whatever. And if not, then I'm just gonna walk. And it cleared up at about, probably about 12 seconds later. So you really just gotta listen to your body, see what it's telling you, and then adapt and make decisions along the way, because you just don't want to get injured, right? Like, this is fine to be running. I mean, this is fine to be running 52 days straight, but I'm not gonna risk, getting injury and being out for like months. So I do pay attention to what's going on in my body. Day 56, improvements. Improvements still happen every day. Sometimes they are a surprise to you. You don't see it sneaking up on you. However, today was one of those days. I was very pleased. Just gotta keep putting in the time on my feet, and I gotta keep on moving. Keep on running, keep the consistency up, but I do feel it. I feel a shift. I feel a shift in the right direction. When I started this whole running every day thing, this little path didn't exist. After 57 days of running, I created that path. I created that path that goes all the way through this grassy section. And the thing is you can create your own path. You just gotta put your mind to it. Results come in so many different ways. Sometimes you don't even know that it's happening. I mean, you could have the worst run of your day. You could have the worst run in weeks, and then another one the next day, and the next, and then all of a sudden, boom, you have this amazing run, and you break all of your other pacing records and your heart rate records, and you go, what just happened? I don't know how it works. I just know that it happens. And it happened to me the other day. So I don't know. Just gotta keep on plugging forward, man. This is awesome. Just never give up. If you want something bad enough, you go out and go get it. So many people have like stopped running, they're injured, they've gained weight, they've kind of lost motivation. And look, that's all normal, right? And if people want to run again, then really it's strictly up to them. And they have to find their own way back. It's the guy did. Time to get out there. Put in another 10K. Day 58. It's a quiet morning. It's Thanksgiving in Canada. Man, is it really quiet. I waited a little bit longer to get out. It's nice to stay in bed and just snuggle. Now it's time to get out and run another 10K. And this whole running 10K every day is something else. Down a lot of weight. I'm pretty happy with how much I weigh. Weight is coming off nicely. Not in my 220s now. Yes. That's a win. God, this is awesome. Like, look at this. That's a half marathon, baby. God, it's been a long time since I've been able to run in zone 2 for a half marathon. Actually, it's been quite a while since I've run a half marathon, even with training. Like that was May 1st, and before that, it was a long time. I am one very happy guy, in the endorphins and the dopamine. Everything is going crazy, and I am like, yeah, I'm back. I've been spending a lot of time putting this video together, and I would really like you guys to stick to the end because I go through a lot of analysis on my runs and I show you my fastest pace that I was able to achieve during this 60 days. So please stick around to the end and you'll get all the results, I promise. I'm just editing the video right now, and I just wanted to say, hey, if you guys like the video, please give it a like, subscribe, thumbs up, share it out. It really does help the channel. Day 59. I honestly didn't think I'd make it to day 59, right? I always like to have these goals. So I don't use it to compare myself and go, oh, it was me. I use it as fuel for the fire to help me stay on track and keep pushing forward. Tomorrow's day 60. Do I continue? I feel like I just said this, but do I continue? I don't know. Day 60. Yeah, you heard me right. 60 days of running 10 kilometers or more. I'm up to a half marathon on Sundays, which is cool. I've gone really slow. Like, you're supposed to work at this. You're supposed to increase your mileage like 10%. I've been doing it even slower than that, guys. I've been going at like, 1.5% pretty much as far as I'm concerned. It's just fascinating to see, my buildup and how long I've been able to go. This is day 60. 60 days of running. My gosh. Man, I've come so far. I honestly didn't think I'd be right back to where I was in January of 2020. You stay consistent at something long enough, good things are gonna happen. I don't care how fast, how slow you run. Consistency is the key. But I did notice one thing, like it was crazy to think about, but I stopped seeing results. And it wasn't until I started to do my long runs that I actually started to see my base fitness really start to increase. And then it would be stagnant for a week until I did my long run, and then it would go up again. I was trying to figure out what's different about running 60 days versus 30 days. I think one of the things I found is it's gotten easier as time has gone along. You know, the habit was formed, I'm seeing really good results, and I'm really happy. I think what I've done is pretty smart in my own head. I think I've done this, you know, in an intelligent way, you know, ramping up my mileage very, very, very slowly and running slow has been really beneficial to me. And that's something I'm proud of, because my younger self wouldn't be able to do this. With all the knowledge I've gained over the last couple of years, it's allowed this journey to evolve. And you guys are getting to see what it's turned into. This is my path I've created. 60 days. Sometimes you can take a path and it leads the wrong way. Sometimes you can end up on someone else's path. You can get lost, you can get hurt, discouraged. I choose to chart my own path. I know what I'm capable of doing. It's what makes me stronger as a person, as a runner. Go as long as you can, see where it leads. There's always opportunities that happen. Sometimes you have to create your own, but at the end of the day, it's all up to you. You may have some questions about whether or not I get tired running every day, the distance that I cover. I honestly can say that it happened for the very first time on Sunday when I ran a half marathon. I wasn't tired when I ran it, or even like hours after. It was around 8 o'clock where I just felt really like I could just crash. And I did. Slept for like 9 hours. And God, did I feel great when I woke up. I also find I'm sleeping extremely well. I mean, we're talking deep sleep, REM sleep, where I got eye twitches. I wake up, I feel refreshed, as opposed to before where I kind of felt lethargic and I just couldn't get going. Running is really, really helping. Temperature plays a big role in trying to keep your heart rate low. And when you're living in climates where it fluctuates, like some mornings it's really cold, some mornings it's really hot, it can be frustrating trying to keep your heart rate in the zone that you're looking to keep it in, whether it's MAF or zone 2, it's still hard. The longer I go without eating, meaning like I do my intermittent fasting, so I don't eat before I run. So I'll go to sleep, I'll wake up, I'll go for a run. And sometimes that's like, you know, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, maybe even 18, it's actually 19 hours since I last ate. So the longer I go in the day, the higher my heart rate tends to be. And there's probably a good chance I've probably had a cup of coffee. It's just my work schedule. I try to get out first thing in the morning, but sometimes I just don't want to wake up at like 5 o'clock in the morning, if you know what I mean. I do listen to a lot of podcasts. There's a little bit of music, but primarily it's podcasts. So I like to learn new things. I'll tell you, I don't know what I would do without podcasts. I know I'd be listening to a lot of audiobooks, but podcasts, I find very fascinating. There's a little bit of music, but not a whole lot. Only if I'm starting to fade. And talking about fading, my mind goes to all kinds of places when I run. I mean, it's only an hour and a bit, but sometimes I can get lost in my thoughts for the day, things I have to do, problems I have to solve, any of those things. But at the end of the run, I have it all figured out. I don't know if I can keep this up. Oh, I may have to pack it in. So after running for 60 days in a row, you probably want to know what the results look like. Well, let's dive into the Coros Training app. Training load's important because this middle graph here, as you can see, this is generally where I want to stay in between, this dark middle ground, because that takes on average all of my running history. And ideally, it kind of plots it on a map saying, look, you want to stay in that zone. I started off, I wasn't in it. And then all of a sudden I was way out of it for a period of time. High risk for injury. And I don't advise that for anybody. Over time, things do improve. Now I'm tracking these long runs, right? These long runs every Sunday, I would just kind of start adding more and more distance every week. And it wasn't a lot. It was like 1 kilometer. So it was not a big deal. But what I noticed was within that time span, the 2 days after, that's typically where I would end up running my fastest run for that week, day 37. So I ran a 6:50, which is pretty cool, actually, being able to run it right after running a 17 kilometers. And the rest of the week went fairly well. But again, when the weekend hit, I did another 18. And then the following 2 days after, you can see that I was only 2 seconds faster as compared to the other one where I was 24 seconds faster. As the week would progress, went into 19 kilometers. This one here saw a 20 second increase in my time. And then the last one was 10 seconds. My fatigue level was much higher right there. That was the highest I was at, was a score of 85 out of 100. Over time, you can see that it started to drop, right? So as things start to drop, my base fitness kept going up, but the runs weren't as hard, right? The whole aspect of training, looking at fatigue to make sure I'm not too fatigued was important. Over time, it got less and less. Spike when I did my long run, and then it would go down. Now, one of the things I noticed was my base fitness started to plateau a little bit. And I was a little bit worried because I thought, okay, well, I need to maybe change up some of my training, because ideally with Kuros, you want to see a 2 to 6 point increase per week. I saw that I plateaued for the first week here. I thought, things need to change a little bit. So I thought, okay, well, let me just run till the end of the week and then see what would happen. So when I did my long run on the weekend, I noticed all of a sudden there was a jump, went from 103 to 106. So I thought, okay, I'm still on track, because I did increase by 3 points. So I was monitoring this as my volume was starting to come down as well. I mean, it would go up when I did my long run, but then it dropped down again. So these spikes here with the fatigue and with my training load, you can see that there's an increase in base fitness. And this is on those Sunday runs. So as I was increasing my mileage from 17, 18, 19, and then going ahead and running a half marathon, running a half marathon was mind-blowing that I could do that after the short period of time that I've been training. And to get to running a 6:55 kilometer pace for a long run for me was outstanding. It was really good. My base fitness popped, right? My base fitness, boom, it kept going up. And so it went up another 3 points. So what I noticed after doing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 long runs, I noticed that every Sunday my score would jump 3, but it would stay stagnant within the week. And it only went up on the weekend. And I'm noticing my fatigue level started to come down. So did I get faster 60 days? Just a little bit before I started. My pace was 8:34, and then I went down to 7:35. That was on day 1. After 31 days, I was at 6:57. And then, I couldn't believe that this happened. It made me extremely happy. I ended up at a 6:51. With my heart rate being 138. So my threshold pace, I wanted to see where things would go with doing no speed work. With my threshold pace, I was at a 5:36 for a threshold pace. But over time, you can see that things started to jump up. It got better and better and better. And right now, it's situated me at a 5:03 kilometer pace for a threshold run. So I haven't gone out to actually do that to see if that's where I'm at. But again, that's probably going to be one of those things that I'm actually going to do. Since I started in the middle of August and I've taken this through to the middle of October, this is what my graph looks like from when I started to where I am now. So you can see at the top is my pace. You can see it in the graph or the chart down below. But it was 7:25 for the month of August, 7:13 kilometer pace for September, and a 6:58 kilometer pace for October, with my heart rate being 139, 138.9, and 139.5. So it's all kind of in that range, which is fascinating to see. So yes, I am getting faster. I am able to run more, which is fantastic. And the amount of time that I'm spending out running, which is great. I've lost 12 pounds since I've started this whole journey. A new watch, I was able to track my heart rate variability. And so I've mapped that in orange, and my power, which is the yellow line. Obviously, the kilometers that I'm running per week is at the bottom here. The amount of time that I've spent running, which is at the very, very top, and then the pace that I'm running. So my last week of running was 6:53. Fantastic. But you can see how the chart can jump around, right? One week can be really good, and then the following week, you can kind of go up. So again, it fluctuates, and that's just normal. And then for when I was building my mileage, I like to start off slow, specifically at the beginning. Yeah, they say you can go ahead and jump 10% each week. I really didn't do that. I was very conservative, except in week 3. That's when I kind of jumped it up, right? I went up 17% in the one week. And then really I kind of settled on 1.3 each week. So I was only going up a kilometer. You can improve running in zone 2. You don't have to run at your Maffetone pace, but if you run in zone 2, you can see some really good results. And to be quite honest, I'm almost 3 minutes faster per kilometer since I started this whole journey. So that's what happens when you run for 60 days. And this is what happened to me. Now, are you going to get the same results? Probably not. Everyone is different with the rate of recovery and everything else that everyone goes through. So I just thought I'd share my results to show you kind of where things were at. And yeah, I'm pretty happy. But the question is, am I going to continue? Now, I said that after day 31. But is it? Is it going to happen? Am I going to continue to go for 90 days? Well, you're going to have to stay tuned and see what happens. I might have cancer. I never thought I'd say those words, but I might just have it. And it sucks. And deep breath. Gotta figure this shit out. So I'm going to the doctor right now, and we're going to get it cut off. It's on the skin. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I'm going to be okay.